Hello everyone, my name is Kenmei and welcome to Project Resplendent, a series of videos where I give early units in Fire Emblem Heroes a Resplendent treatment based on your suggestions, so feel free to leave a few suggestions in the comments. After a month pause, we are back with our next Resplendent. This time around we have Múspell Michalis. He has been one that I think a lot of people have been waiting for, and so I also can't wait to see what it's going to look like. But my take on it is going to be inspired mainly by Surtur as a menacing ruler, because even though he's a douche, he's still a menacing ruler, in a sense. Clearly not Múspell, Surtur. Then we also have Legion for a few little details. I also looked at Resplendent Minerva just to see where I could, draw some parallels. And surprisingly enough, but unsurprisingly enough, we also have Resplendent Male Morgan. You'll see the reason why in a second. So, starting with the basics, it was a bit complicated to find the right shapes to go with, Michalis, and translating that to Múspell. Most notably, Michalis doesn't have a lot of armor, and I would say armor pieces are quite important, I think, to the Múspell design, aside from Male Morgan. But I went with the details that I thought would be most easy to work with. The cape, I drew inspiration from Legion's cape, as well as the shoes. And for the gloves, I wouldn't say I went exactly with what Resplendent Minerva has, but I drew heavy inspiration from that. I tried to keep the shapes you can see on some Michalis' armor. As for the arms, I went with, I guess I also took inspiration from Chrom, but Chrom took inspiration from Surtur, so we are going to have volcano arms. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite difficult to see where I would put the usual Múspell scaling while keeping Michalis' cloak or jacket. I don't know which it is, but I knew it was quite hard to see how I would nail this design. The bottom part was a bit more easy, but nonetheless, translating Michalis' original design into Múspell was, I want to say, quite the challenge. And as you can see, I took some time to draw little Michalis' head. Also thinking, I could add a little headpiece, and Minerva's headpiece was slightly, those two little branches, those two little horns. I thought Michalis could have something similar, but also a bit more imposing. He's the big brother, he's the king. So, something more Wyvern-like. And before going with colors, I took some time to think of the posing. Michalis is usually pretty, I won't say plain, I wouldn't dare, but he's not extravagant. So I tried to have something imposing, because I think his Múspell attire could, grant him a bit of stature, but I didn't want it to be too much. I had fallen Anankus in her head for a moment, but you'll see how the paws end up looking like. And I must say, it wasn't quite bad. As for the colors, we are basically going with lots of gold, lots of dark grays, the dark purples, the dark blues you can see on Múspell, the one which usually enhance the reds, especially for the scales. Now, for the little scarf he also has, I went with a purple covered in ash, I would say, and I tried a few things. In the end, you will see how it looks like, and going a little bit on the paws. just to make sure he looks menacing enough, and I think we nailed it. Well, I hope so. As the lining goes on, I'm going to be honest, this time around the rendering isn't going to be on par with what I did for Resplendent Quan. The reason is I took a bit too much time to work on this, and I wanted to release this video on the same day as the official announcement for the next Resplendent hero. My guess, you know what? My guess is going to be a 5-star hero, because we haven't had one in quite some time. And, who might that be? I'm going to try something. I don't know why. I want to guess Resplendent Lewin. I don't know from which realm, but I want to guess Lewin. That might be a weird curveball. I want it to happen eventually. It's most definitely going to be wrong, but it's always fun trying to guess which unit it's going to be. I sure hope it is not Resplendent Michalis, because I don't want the comparison to be drawn right as it releases. But as usual, the coloring and shading part takes the most time, so we are going to quickly go over it, even though, as for coloring, I started with the lighting, and I don't know why, I have decided that I wanted to try and emulate slightly, not faithfully, but a bit. I wanted to try and emulate Yoshihisa's art style a bit. Why Yoshihisa? Because Yoshihisa actually did Resplendent Minerva, and I thought that would be a nice pairing. But it was quite a long process trying to find the right colors. The cape, the interior of the cape was a bit annoying, especially trying to keep the Yoshihisa style. Honestly, I eventually decided I would go my way. And, you know, menacing doesn't look that menacing if you don't have a head covered in darkness. Yeah, I had to rework a bit the head because he didn't look the right kind of menacing. And so we're going to fast forward through the shadows, and I'll be honest, this is not my best Resplendent yet. I think Resplendent Quan was still one of my favorites, but I'm still pretty happy with how it turned out, especially the magma forearms. And honestly, if Michalis somewhat resembles, even from afar, something like what I did, I would be honored. So that was it for Resplendent Michalis, and next time around we are going on some fairylands. Yeah, I know, a lot of people are fed up with fairies, but this one is one a lot of people have been waiting for, and it shall be, unless IS decides to throw me a curveball, it should be Leosalfheimer Olivia. So I hope you liked this video, I hope you liked the concept, and until next time, take good care of yourselves everyone. Bye bye!